You got me feeling kinda crazy. You got me feeling like my head is spinning round. The way you look is so amazing, amazing. I could stare into your eyes for hours and hours. Everything is kinda hazy. We're just dancing in the dark in the flashing lights. I know you can't hear what I'm saying, so I'm just gonna hold you closer. You take me higher when we're together. It feels like you set my whole world on fire. I know I want you, I know I need you here. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. I don't know how you do it to me, but you make me wanna fly. I'm not coming down. Maybe it's the way you move, babe, move, babe. You've got that body and that smile, make my head spin round. I'll hold you close to me. You're all I want, so stay right here with me. This feels like paradise. You take me higher when we're together. It feels like you set my whole world on fire. I know I want you, I know I need you here. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. You're around me, I want tonight. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise.
Well, g'day everyone. Let me just put these down, get them out the way. So how are we all? I think I've got to unplug those. There we go. It was going to echo otherwise. Just seeing if it's all clear. I'm streaming again today in 4K, so hopefully everything is going to work. But the first thing I have to do is open up my Corona because it's a really hot day today. What is it? It's 35 degrees Celsius at the moment. What's that in US terms? Let me just have a quick look. Where are we? 35. So it is... Oh, it doesn't tell me. Fahrenheit to Celsius, 35. I've got no idea. Anyway, it's warm. So it's a real hot one. So let me just open this up. Now, I have got the Guinness bottle opener. And I know you Americans are going to hate me, but I am going to put lemon in this. So you just have to get over it, guys. In Australia, we have lemon. Sometimes we have limes. Let me just open this up. Plop this in. Oh, yes. All right, now I'm going to put the echo on. I've got to remember to turn it off this time. Here we go. You ready? nectar of the gods. Oh boy, that's good. Love it. So how are we all? Last stream before Christmas. Well, maybe the last live stream I do before Christmas anyway, but we'll just have to see how we go. Let me check who's here, because then I'm going to unbox some interesting things with you guys, just some travel accessories and stuff. So let's see who's here. Oh, now I've got to turn this on, don't I? So let me have a look. I've just got to remember how to do this. I've got so much on here. Let me go to here and open up the macros and then go run on this, and it should, I hope it works. So let me just click out of this for a second and let me check. I might have to alter the settings just a bit. So let me just see if that comes up now. Oh, it's not going to work. Why doesn't that work? Oh, hang on, I think I know why. Bear with me a second. I've got to move something over here. I'm still using this beta software here, so just let me get this set up. Let me open this up. Let me open this up and drag this over to here, and then let me go full screen, and then let me see if this is going to start working. I have to now press on here. Please work this time. H2R, run. Yep, now all I have to do is change the settings a bit. So let me bring up the comment, and now I've just got to take out the green screen a little bit. Let me go here. Let me go back to switcher and palettes, and now all I have to do is play around with these until I get... Aha! Aha! Got it. Here we go. All right, so let's see who's in the chat. So Billy is saying, hi, David from Jackson, Mississippi. Great information. Love your channel. Thanks so much. Yeah, I was running a bit behind today. Usually I've got that ready to go, but I was running around grabbing stuff. Steve said greetings from Adelaide is here as well. Paris saying is in the Philippines. Good morning. Very early in Dubai. Oh, okay, so you're in Dubai. It's 5 a.m. there. Robert said, Bermuda in the house. Been a while. Good to see you here, buddy. Altric's here as well. G'day, Altric. Chris is saying, hello, David. Cool day in Los Angeles, but still a Corona day. Yeah, it's hot here today. 35 so far. I think we're going to be up near 40 degrees Celsius on Christmas Day. I'm going to be up in Echuca, up in the beautiful Murray River area skiing, so it should be fun. Oh, a bit of lemon pip. Excellent 4K video and high fidelity audio tonight. Thanks, Kurt. What he said, greetings from Oregon. Hope everyone has a blessed holiday season. Yep, to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, is it? Thanks, Woody. Barry said, good morning, David. I'm drinking a birthday scotch. Oh, happy birthday. Is it your birthday, Barry? 95 degrees, Hertz saying. Wow, only 28 degrees here in the desert. Love the winter here. Yeah, you don't really get winter over there, though, do you? It's 10.6 degrees Celsius here, and I'm opening a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Well, why not 000? I would. Rob said, hi from Ontario. James said, good day. Steve also said, can't open a homebrew yet. It's not midday. Of course you can, Steve. Come on. Get into it. Robert said, I've been enjoying street photography all year due to the pandemic. I have not done any events really since summer. I actually used a Z50 and the Z24-70 2.8 in an event. Street, I used Fuji X Pro 3. Mike said, appears Sony has some new alien tech they are putting into their sensors. I did read that this morning, actually. I wasn't going to discuss it because it was more talking at this stage about the phone sensors, that they're doubling the light gathering ability. But it's going to be interesting to see if they do translate that onto the other camera sensors, which they probably will eventually. Thomas is saying, hello, Sir David. How are you, Thomas? Good to see you in here. So what I thought I'd do today first is I'm going to unbox some little bits and pieces. And this is a couple of these things I've bought. So a few, and I'll tell you which ones I've bought and which ones have been sent to me. There's a couple of things have been sent to me. It's more for travel. And when I'm doing weddings in location, like sometimes I'll go out into the outback and do weddings with brides and things like that. And I love to have battery stuff that I can charge up on the go. So I'm going to show you a couple of battery solutions. One I've bought, and there's a couple that have been sent to me. Also, I was going to show you a couple of Rode things that I got as well. We can unbox those and just have a look. And there's even a wireless set as well that we can have a look at and just check that out too. I'll probably will review that because I'll have to do a test and things like that with it. So what we'll do, I'll grab the first one and we can have a look. Let me just move this beer out of the way. So this is the first one. Now, when the company contacted me about this one, I thought, yeah, it sounds really interesting because this is a product. Here, let me just go full screen so I can make sure everything is working. So this is the product here. Now, what it is, it's an MPF multi-function charger. Now, the reason why I wanted this was because I use the MPF batteries all the time, particularly if I'm, say, charging my cameras and things like that and using it for monitors and stuff like that. Well, this is a way that you can charge the MPF batteries, but also you can use it to charge other things up. So I'll show you what I mean. And this is great for travel. This is why I got these, because, or asked them to send me these, because I love this sort of stuff for travel. So what it is, it's just this tiny little device that you've got here. And basically all you'll do is, look, there's a, just got to get the thing from here. There's a D-tap outlet here if you can get a D-tap lead, so you could charge, use it for things like lights and stuff like that if you want to use D-tap. The other thing too is you've got USB-C and also USB-A here, and this is your USB-C in to charge this. So you can charge the MPF batteries as well. So all you do is you just grab the MPF batteries and you just plug it in. Now the great thing is immediately it shows you on there how much charge you've got on your battery, which is great because often you don't know how much charge is on these things, particularly if you're charging up using it for monitors and things like that. If you press that again, it will come up. It just goes off after a while. There's a little button there that you can press. Now, the great thing then is that you can then use this as a charger to charge other things up. So instead of having small batteries like your camera has and things like that, you can use the MPF batteries. And if you were running out of these, you can also charge up with this as well. As long as you have USB-C in, you could charge the battery up as well. So that's the first thing that's been sent to me, and I think this is terrific, particularly for the size, and it's also great how there is a D-tap out. D-tap is a universal standard for things like lighting and things like that. I've even got some camera gear that can connect to the D-tap with the dummy batteries for the A7 series cameras. But I thought that I'd show you this one first because the next thing can sort of tap directly into this. So I'll leave all the links down below where you can get these from. I'm not even sure how much they are. I wouldn't expect them to be very expensive. The other thing too on the bottom here is it's got a mount there that you could mount this onto a camera or some sort of rig as well, if you were going to use that as part of your rig that you were using. Now the second thing that I wanted to show you is this one. Now this is also, so that other one's been sent to me and this one's been sent to me. So this is an XTAR. I've got a lot of XTAR chargers. I did a review a while ago of one that charges up the Sony batteries, the Z batteries, and also the A6400 batteries. But this little thing is very cool too, because again, when I travel, I like to take as little as possible with me. So what this is a USB charger. Now, I have one similar to this that I charge up 8 I think it'll do the AA and the AAA batteries in here, so they'll both fit. But the beauty of this is, let me just take this out. So this is tiny as well, so this really is going to make a difference for me. Now, I use these batteries all the time. They're in my audio gear that I use, and also in the Sony flashes that I use. It also uses it in my ProPhoto, the wireless adapters, things like that. So this is tiny as well. Now, the great thing here is that what I can do, let me just undo this. So it comes with the USB-C cable. Now, I can then use this battery charger. So I'm going to go on the USB-A out. And then I'm going to plug this in here. Now, you can see straight away that it shows you it charging up. Let me just see if I can move that out the way. So it's red while it's charging, and then it's green when it's fully charged. So again, this tiny little setup with these two things, I can actually use for travel. I mean, how great is that? It really is fantastic. So I can throw these in my case when I go away, and I'm always going to have these batteries sort of there ready to go. Let me just take this comment off. So they're the first two things that I'm going to show you. Now, they've been sent to me, but thanks so much, because I'm going to use these, and I think these are fantastic. They're so light, you know, and so easy to carry. Like I said, it will do the smaller AAA batteries as well. So that's that setup. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is this. Now, I purchased this one, so this wasn't sent to me. So this is a purchased item. It's called, I'm just going to turn it around, INDIPRO, and it comes from inditools.com. Now, this is terrific. I love this thing because this is like a battery pack that's really quite large. Now, it's actually on the bottom there. It's saying that it's a, what is it, an 8,500 milliamp battery, I think. 8,300, I think. It's hard to read because it's only small. Let me just see if it'll come up. Yeah, so it's saying that it's a 8,300 milliamp battery, 12 volt. Now, the great thing about this is it does charge up by DTAP, but it does have on here, you've got 12 volt in and out, and also 9 volt out as well. And you've got a switch on the top here that when you turn it on, you can see your power, how much is left in this battery, and your USB-C-A, the USB-A is there as well, and you can use these attachments. Now, it comes with a couple of different attachments in here. There's a whole stack of leads that this comes with, so you can attach things, but what I loved using this for, I'll show you. If you have a dummy battery, this is a Z dummy battery, all you have to do is connect it onto here, and then you can charge your battery up. Now, you could probably run your camera for days. It'd be great for time-lapse and things like that. But I'm going to use this for just charging up everything, like charging up my phone, charging up things like if I'm using sliders and things like that, because this is just such a great battery to take. And it's not too big, and it comes with this great little carry case here. Now, like I said, I purchased this, though. This was so good. Can we get David to move that accursed pointer off the screen? Oh, hang on. Is there a pointer there, is it? Let me have a look. Hopefully it's moved. Oh, no, it's still there. How do we move that? Let me just go back to here. Why is that sitting there? Yeah, I don't know how to move that. That's... Oh, hang on. It's this one. There we go. Moved. It's gone. What does that mean now? Save us P&G. Get off. Where did that come from? Oh, there we go. It's gone now. Yeah, so this is fantastic. I love this thing. And like I said, I'll leave the link down below. I can't remember what it cost me. I think it was about $100. So it's not cheap, but for what it is, it's really good. And like I said, you can it has 12 volt out and also 9 volt out. So it will be, you know, you could charge lights up and do everything with this thing. So this is great. I love this, and this is going to go everywhere with me as well. Next thing I want to open up is a new lavalier. I've paid for this as well, so I did buy this. This is a Lavalier II. Let me just open this up. So I haven't even looked at this yet. Ooh. Boxes are terrible to open up, these Rode ones. Now, the reason why I wanted to get this was because it's a totally different design. I've got a few of these Rode little mics, lapel mics. So it comes in this little case that you're looking at here. And then inside, this is sort of looking inside the pack. Inside the pack of this, you get a windsock. Now, the interesting thing about this mic, it's shaped differently, and I'll show you that. It's actually flat. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be able to get this in focus, because this is tough. Let me just see. It's flat, so it sits a lot easier against your body or shirts and things like that. You can see the microphone on that side there. And then basically it has the screw bottom bit that you take on through here, but also it's the first time that they've sort of redesigned the clip that clips onto your body or onto your shirt, because they've always been a bit sort of clunky. Now that the clip itself has been redesigned, I'm just trying to see if I can get this to focus. Probably not. Come on, focus, focus, focus. There we go. It's the first time they've redesigned a clip. And you get these little colour tags too, so you can colour tag everything if you wanted to. I think it sort of matches also the Rode Podcaster as well. But so I've got that, and like I said, if you look at the windsock for this, it's square due to the fact that this will plug in, and it's, you know, it's a much nicer microphone. So I can't wait to try this and just to see. Why is this having trouble focusing? Yeah, I want to try this out to see how it goes. You do get the smaller little windsock there too that you can use if you want to use that. See, that should focus. Oh, there we go. You do get that as well in there too. So that's another thing that I've got to try out. And like I said, when this sort of sits against you here, it's not as big as what the previous one was, which was always sort of scraping against your jacket, because the back part of this is not the microphone. The microphone's at the front part of this. So it's going to be interesting to just see how, you know, how it works. Like I said, I've paid for that as well. Let me just put this away, because I'll probably have a play around with this later on. Next thing is this. So this has also been sent to me. This is a wireless microphone system from Lensgo. A little bit different because I won't unbox this, but I just thought I'd show you how they are, because I'm going to I will film this and use it and see how the ranges and the quality of the audio is. So stay tuned for this. It's just called the Model 34C8C. I believe to it you can put an SD card in to record as well. So it does have the advantage, like some of them, like the Rode Wireless Go 2 that I love actually, can have recording internal. Well, this will record internal with some SD cards, so stay tuned for that. And the last thing I'll show you is, if you didn't check out my video yesterday, this little thing is awesome. Come on, focus. Actually, that's still, let me just move that out of the way. Wonder if that was why it was having trouble. Funny, the ZV-1 usually is terrific in focus. This port key, yeah, it's all over the place today. I don't know what's going on. This port key monitor is wireless. So what it will do, you do have to connect it via HDMI. Check out the video below that I actually shared, because it will take you through it all. This thing is fantastic, particularly if you have an A7 III. Because if you have an A7 III, you could use something like one of the wireless systems and then have this completely independent of your camera. And the great part about this, particularly with the A7 III, you can control all of your functions and see the exposure, you can see the f-stop you're using and change it, change your ISO and do everything all from the touch screen. So check that video out below, because I showed that just yesterday. and it's a video previous to this one. So if you're interested in looking at that, it will work with all the other Sony cameras, but it won't work wirelessly with the other Sony cameras. So you need to sort of see the review, and I'll talk about what the differences are. But you know, this is a really great system. Why won't it focus? I think it's because it's glass. Yeah, I reckon it's because it's glass and it's reflecting off it. So that's it. That's the last one I wanted to show you. So I've got a couple of things there to play with. Now, let me bring up, because we're going to go through, let me just see if anyone's saying anything or wants some questions answered. Barry said his birthday was 3 days ago. Happy birthday, Barry. 3 degrees in Western New York. Is that Western New York, is it? Ted said, good to see you, David. Thanks, Ted. For those who are reluctant to open their frosty malted beverages, in the words of philosopher Jimmy Buffett, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Exactly. That's what I always say. Was on Twitter or Instagram who've banned street photography images. I believe it. Look, I haven't read it. I know Tony Northrup did a video about it, saying that they banned street photography images. What is going on with these social media sites? I don't understand them. Hello, David. Would you suggest me buying full-frame camera below $3,000 US dollar? Definitely, I want to buy the 24/7 G Master lens on it. Yeah, I mean, all the Sony full-frame cameras are amazing. Can we get David to move that cursor? I did. Panda's here too. G'day, Panda. How are you, mate? Just want to check in. Can't stay limited power on the laptop. No worries, buddy. It gave you a thumbs up and a like. I will be having a few Coronas in about 2 hours, Altrix said. I just ordered DJI's wireless mic system. It's back ordered. It records internally also, but don't need proprietary software to download the audio files. That sounds good. It looks pretty good, that DJI one, from what I've seen online. All right, now let me see if I can switch over to this other page, because we will now try and do the news. Let me go back to here. All right, the first one I wanted to talk about was actually let me just get rid of this comment, was that basically Sony has really been hit hard with the shortage on silicon. And that's what this story here is about. What they're saying is that it's hurt Sony more than anyone else. And I'll show you some graphs in a minute that you'll be able to sort of look at and understand how bad it actually is at the moment. But it's just saying down here that Sony's market share in Japan took a massive hit in recent months, as it's been unable to produce enough camera equipment to keep store shelves stocked. And this also comes because Sony have said that the ZV-E10 has sold very well due to its relatively low price. But the company was forced to suspend manufacturing, and they've put out a statement about that. And I think I discussed that in last week's live, actually. And they were saying that they were going to stop selling it due to the fact of not being able to get parts. And it sort of talks a little bit more about this later on. It said, prior to the halt, Sony temporarily had the top share of the market before taking a nose dive and ceding the top spot to Canon. And I'll show you how much it's dropped. Now, what it's saying here is that the graph on the left, or it's below actually, is titled Sales Volume Share, and the two lines in red and black denote Canon and Sony. So the red is Canon and the black is Sony. Sony was doing well through September before a massive fall-off in October and November. Canon appears to be less affected and has seen sales volume share grow in that same period. So look what's happened here. This was around September, and you can see that Sony was growing way up here. Like, in fact, it had basically matched what Canon was at this point. And then all of a sudden, Sony have done this massive drop. So it's interesting when you look at that to see how much Sony is probably impacted with those the silicon chip shortage, which is incredible when you look at that. It says the graph on the right shows the average per unit price of cameras ordered. You can see Sony actually is well ahead here. And the black line with yellow trigram represents Nikon. Oh, okay, so this is Nikon is the other one there. So Sony are doing well with their high-end cameras, but overall sales, in fact, have really tanked. And it's interesting because if I won't read the whole lot, but it's saying Sony's average price has been increasing steadily. At the same rate, its sales volume share has collapsed, which seems to indicate the company is selling its more expensive cameras. So at least they're obviously selling their more expensive cameras, and perhaps that's why they're stopping the cheaper cameras due to the fact that they need those parts or whatever for their more expensive cameras that are coming out. Somewhat of note is that Canon's unit price has hardly fluctuated at all. And now I wanted to come down here because it says here that the Digicam Info compared the top-selling cameras in BCN's rankings over the last few months and found that the Sony A6400 and the ZVE10 both led the way for Sony sales before the fall-off. So in other words, the A6400 and the ZVE10 were selling like crazy, and that's what caused that graph to really spike up when you were looking at that. And then as soon as they stopped basically producing them, selling them, it's dropped right off. And it says here that both led the way for Sony before sales fell off the cliff in September. So it appears the impact of the supply shortage for its lower-cost cameras was extremely significant. I'm just trying to see down here. From pure sales volume perspective, it would have made more sense to continue to produce the ZVE10 over cameras like the Alpha 1 or the Alpha A7RV, since the company was clearly selling more of them, at least in Japan. I mean, who knows how much they're making from all of these, though, but yeah, I can sort of understand what they're saying there. And it just says that these only reflect sales in Japan. But it's an interesting story, isn't that, when you look at that massive drop that we've got coming through here. You can see everyone else. I mean, Nikon has lost sales. Hopefully now with their new cameras, they'll start to come up. Everyone else is fairly steady, though. But the Sony's really dropped in that period. Next story, it says here, Sony has just made the US readers a nice present. So the US customers who've pre-ordered the camera, looks like you may be going to get it from Thursday, December the 23rd. So I'm so excited for you guys because I think originally you were saying it was going to be January or February or something like that. It looks like the ones that have ordered early may get it sooner than what they expected. So I'm jealous because I haven't got that camera, and it looks like it's a really fantastic camera. So hopefully some of you may get it before Christmas. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, while rumour, this is a really interesting one, and I'd love to know your opinion about this in the live chat and also in the comments down below. It says, the first rumour says that Sony A7RV will be announced in June 2022. And they're saying here it's going to be 102 megapixels. Now, I'm not sure, because if you look at it, it says, I think there is a 0.01% chance this is true, so it's quite funny. But anyway, it's going to have adaptive pixel and computational photography modes. This is only a matter of a time before they do get these in cameras. When you think about what's sort of happening in mobile phones, it's definitely going to happen sooner or later. You know, this computational photography particularly is going to be a massive thing. If you think at how HDR and things like that work in mobile phones, it's going to come in cameras eventually. Simultaneous announcement about a curved sensor. Now, Sony have been, or we've had rumours about that for a while, and it still may happen. It's an interesting concept because it should, in theory, make the image sharper right through the whole range of the sensor. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this works. It says 2 cameras, 150 megapixel and a 200 megapixel. And it said 9 to 12 prime lenses, very expensive to follow quickly. Not sure. Oh, that's a medium format sensor for that curve. Yeah, okay. So it's a medium format camera. I'm not convinced with that one at all. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you think there is a chance Sony may produce a medium format camera? Remember, the sensor that's in the Fuji is a Sony sensor, so we know Sony already is probably prepared to do it. But, you know, they're going to have to change the mount. And I just don't know at the moment whether they'd have the R&D to do that, particularly with, you know, the silicon shortage the way it is at the moment. Do you think they would want to sort of move out into a medium format camera? And like they've said, it would be 9 to 12 primes would also have to be released, and they would be expensive. For sure. The other rumour too down here, I'm not really going to go through, but it's just they're saying that there's going to be a new camcorder, but it's only a 1080p camcorder. So anyway, that doesn't really sort of interest me at all. But this is a bit of fun. I don't know whether... Do you think we need 102 megapixels? I think the current 60 megapixels or whatever is ample, but I mean, who knows? Some people might want that. Anyway, that's just one rumour that I wanted to share with you. I'll come back to the chat at the end. This was interesting too because DP Review reviewed the Sony A7 IV, and they actually said that it's an amazing camera, particularly in detail. It had incredible amounts of detail that they saw in real-world samples, and the JPEG colours are directly comparable with the best of its peers. The only thing they said that was not too good was the actual ISO. But what you've got to consider here too is that the ISO on this camera, if you downsampled that to a lower, say 24 megapixel, it would definitely improve. And that's what you've got to remember with these high megapixel cameras. But what they are saying down the end here, though, is the interesting thing, is it's saying that the additional noise can't be solely blamed on the pixel count, though, since it's a fraction noisier than some of its higher resolution peers. Overall, the ISS is good, but not groundbreaking. Performance with detail capture appearing to be the A7 IV's strong suit. So detail obviously is very, very good with that sensor, and you've got the 30-odd megapixels, so, you know, it should be an improvement. But they're saying it's lost a little bit in noise. But like I said, if you downsample it, it would be the same as the other cameras anyways. But they're saying it is even a bit worse than some of the higher performing or high resolution cameras. Just wanted to share that. Also, Adobe has added A7 IV and RAW support and the 70 to 200 millimeter GM2 lens profile now. So if you are using Adobe Lightroom, those lenses are now, the lens and also the camera is now supported. So they're pretty quick on bringing those up now. So that's great. I noticed Capture One, I think, already had it, but it's now available there in Lightroom. And another thing here too, I noticed Michael, I don't know whether he's in the chat today, I don't think he is, has just got his 70 to 200. This thing really is an amazing lens. You know, I mean, you think, look, I know it's expensive, but you get what you pay for. Oops. How do I go back now? Yeah, you get what you pay for, but, you know, the thing with this lens, it's incredible because it's so light. It has the new linear motors in there for focus. It's a 29% reduction from the previous model is huge. I mean, that is a massive amount, basically 30%. So 30% reduction in weight, because I hate carrying around the old one. This is probably similar weight to my F4 70 to 200, which is not bad actually. So this is great. And I really think, you know, if you're after a 70 to 200 f2.8, Sony have really done a good job here. And, you know, good on them for doing it. I think, like I said, if you wanted the traditional 2470, the 2470 probably will be maybe the next lens that they bring out for zooms. There'll be a Mark II of that, definitely. And there was also a rumour last week that I spoke about an 85 1.2 that could be coming out early next year as well. So, you know, like I said, we're really blessed now with what we've got in the Sony realm for lenses. But I know Michael got his, so it's saying new item coming soon, but it must already be shipping. So, yeah. So, anyway, if I was after a 70 to 200, I'd jump on that one for sure. This is another interesting one as well. The Samyang 50mm 1.4, it's got reviewed at the Sony Alpha blog, and I'll leave all these down below. But it's interesting because they're saying here that the Samyang 50 1.4 AF2 is a huge upgrade compared to the Samyang 50 1.4. The original version of it. It offers overall very good to excellent performance at a fraction of the price of the Sony 50 1.4 Zeiss or the Sony 50 1.2 GM. They're just saying its main weaknesses compared to the Sony are the AF is a little bit less efficient and the bokeh balls that are not circular when the aperture is closed down, and there's a higher level of chromatic aberration. But, you know, look, Rockion and Samyang, this is the same lens, did used to be well, I mean, I used to be not that happy with them, but now the latest lenses, they've improved dramatically to the point where, you know, they are really quite good lenses now. And even though they say the AF is not as efficient, it would still focus, I would say, very, very well. The days of the third-party lenses not performing, like Tamron, Sigma, Samyang, all of these other lens manufacturers now, it's incredible how much they've done. It really is great. Cheers, everyone. All right, so let's open it up to Q&A. Let me just switch back. So if you have any questions, just fire them away. Love it too, guys, if you could give me a thumbs up. It does make a difference, particularly for my channel because I'm unsponsored. So, you know, it does make a big difference there. So if you have any questions you want answered, yeah, please just fire away here. 000 said that the delivery for the A7 IV was bumped to December the 27th. What was it originally when you ordered it? I know last week when we were talking about it that they were saying that it was going to be January or something like that, that it was going to be released. Sony have tended to release them in Japan and Europe and Australia first. For some reason, the US has been put back a little bit. I'm not quite sure why. Paris said, couldn't believe Sony gave Animal IAF to the ZV-E10 and not the A7S3 in the latest updates. Yeah, I know, that's really weird. When I update, I'm using the ZV-E10 now. When I updated that, I was shocked that they gave it the Animal IAF in video. Like you said, it's not available in the A7S3 yet. I'm sure it will come, but yeah, you're right, it's weird. It's already happening, soft skin mode. Yeah, that's true. Although I don't like that look really, though. Guy with the camera, yeah, but yeah, you're right. It is starting to happen. That Sony medium format reminds me of when the Phase 1 first came out. The camera was the price of a very nice car, Audi or BMW. Yeah, no, I think those days are gone now, though, because if you look at the price that they're selling the Fuji medium format, those are great cameras for what they are. And I don't know if Sony would want to compete in that marketplace. I mean, let me know what you think. It's interesting. Sony would need a new mount. Yes, they would. So it definitely would have to be a new mount. And a new set of lenses for medium format. Sounds like a niche system. The GFX line will be hard to compete against. Yeah, well, they've already made the start. That's one thing already. They are reasonably inexpensive for what they are. And Sony's already making money from the sensors of that anyway. So, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that, that would happen. Even Sony third-party lenses are better than some other manufacturers' native lenses. Cough, cough. Comparing to V1 is an extremely low bar for the 50. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, that lens, okay. Question, if the Sony 100 megapixel camera comes true, will you get one, especially if it's medium format and you need lenses for it too? No, I definitely wouldn't get it, John. I mean, it doesn't interest me at all getting a medium. I used to shoot medium format years ago, but no longer. I mean, I'm happy with what I was shooting. In fact, look, I keep saying to you guys, if I was getting another camera now, I'd get another A7S3. That'd be the first thing that I would be getting, is another A7S3. Because I just love it. I used it for the first time the other day in a dance concert. I don't think I still kept those, did I? Let me just check. Yes, I did. All right, let me just show you. Let me see if I can open this up. Open with the preview. And let me see if I can just drag this over. Auto. Let me go there. Now, I don't know whether this will work. Oh, it looks like it's working. You may not be able to see the whole thing because it'll be a different picture size. Now, these were all shot with the A7S3. Can I go next and will it change? No. Actually, let me see. I'll have to do this a different way. I've got to just show it in preview, I think. Let me just go here. Let me try this and see if it works. So I used this the other day when I did the dance concert. Kerry was shooting with an A9 next to me, actually. And it was really interesting because she said a few points she was actually having issues getting focus, where I didn't. The focus on these is nuts. It really is incredibly fast. I mean, look, you're not going to see this as well through YouTube, but you know, I loved using it. I had an absolute ball with it. And like I said, I just really adore using it. I really do. It's just such a great camera. Now, like, very rarely do they ever print anything really large with these images. But, you know, like if they did, I could, in fact, if I wanted to, use gigapixel if they needed to make it big. But remember, I can go up to, I can go right up to 20 by 30 with a 12 megapixel camera. So it was absolutely brilliant. I'll show you one other image if I've got it. Where are we? Oop. It's hard to get because I've got multiple monitors going on up here. No, I think I got rid of them. Let me just check back here. No, they're all gone anyway, I don't think. Let me just check in there. No, they're all gone. Doesn't matter anyway, you get the idea. So I used it for the first time in a dance recital, and it was great. I mean, the difference is I shot 3,000 images. I had it on the fast shutter, so it was doing, I think it's 10 frames per second, which I used when the guys were jumping and stuff like that. I mean, they're quite hard to get those perfect moments. I mean, I'll show you one which I have got some. I can't show you all of them. These are only ones that people have ordered at this stage, but let me just open that up again. Where are we? I just missed the top of the guy's hands here. But some of the others that I've shot, you know, were really good, where I've grabbed the whole dancer. It's just I haven't edited them yet until people order them. You know, this was shot with 500th of a second because I wanted to be able to stop the motion happening, which is really important, obviously, because otherwise you would get blurring in the feet because he was moving very, very fast. I shot with the 28-75 Tamron. I was shooting at 2.8 and I shot with 1/500th of a second, and I just left it on auto ISO and let the ISO just run to whatever it needed to go up to, you know, and look how clean this is. Like 1/500th of a second, this would have been very, very high ISO. But it looks great, and that's the beauty of using a camera like that, you know, that you can not really worry about the ISO at all and fire away. And I just shot all night, and I think, like I said, I had 3,000 images that I've uploaded now online. But I adore that camera, and like I said, I just jump at getting it again if I was purchasing now. I really don't like putting it down, and it's interesting, like I used to just love shooting with the A9 all the time, whereas now I'll always go to the A7 III. I just love the look of the image that it gives me, and I love the focus and everything about it. Let's see what anyone else is saying. John said, a little off topic. How are you, John? But what's the difference between the Mac Mini and the desktop Mac? Well, nothing really. It's the same. The only thing is you just don't get the monitor in the minis. Now, I'm using two computers here. I've got one which is to my right that you can't see there. That's the Mini that's running. And then I'm using down here, I've got the new M1 Mac Book Pro. It's a 14-inch one, similar to probably what Aldrich just bought because he asked me which one I'd recommend. So I've got the 14-inch one here fully spec'd out. So I love that, and so I'm still using both computers. I'm using the M1 Mac really for the questions that you can see or that you put up. I'm using that to sort of bring that over, and I'm using the M1 Mac to do everything else. But I'm not even using this for streaming. I'm using a Ultra HD to stream, so that's why I can get such good 4K, because my computer's not even doing any of that. But that's really the only difference. I loved the M1 Mac, the actual Mac Mini. That's why I haven't sold it. I thought that I'll keep it and just use it as part of the system that I've got. I mean, I probably wouldn't get enough to sell it anyway. But basically, they're the same. If you buy the M1 versions, it's the same. It's just that you don't get a monitor with that one. Rob said, Animal IF probably went to the ZVE10 first, so families shooting their pets could use it. Yeah, probably. Probably a bigger market than with the A7S3 would be. Wildlife photographers would probably go for an A7R4. Yeah, that's a good point, actually, Rob. I'm waiting on the 70-200 mark to start shipping. Have you already ordered it, Aldrich? John said, agree, 100 megapixels is overkill for events. Well, that's the main thing about this. I shot 3,000 images. They transferred over almost immediately, like that fast, because they were only 12. Usually I use the 24 megapixel. But it was incredible, and the file storage size is so much less. It also takes less time to upload the final JPEG images and everything else, so it helps my workflow so much. This is why I loved it. You know, I mean, I just came from the Nikon background where I had always using 12 megapixels, so I just like using it at that. But you can't crop. You've got to remember you can't crop much. 40 to 50 megapixels is more than enough. I mean, it does depend on, too, what you're doing. I mean, sometimes having that can be an advantage. It's particularly an advantage if you're doing high-end retouching. You know, I mean, I wouldn't want to use my Sony A7S3 for that, because, you know, if you're going to enlarge the skin and do all your perfect retouching, it can be hard on that type of camera, though. That's where they'll use high megapixel counts, or jewelry, things like that, you know, fashion. What lenses are you using on your ZVE10 looking at the Sony 10-18? I have got that, but I'm using the Sigma 16mm f1.4. So that's what I'm using at the moment. But if I need to go really, really wide, I'll use the 10-18. I love that lens. I even use that full frame sometimes, because you can use the 10-18 on 12mm. 12 to 16, it can be used on full frame, so you don't have to go into APS-C mode. So if you need 12mm, that lens is a great lens to stick on full frame. Not many people realise that. If you open it up to 10, you get the vignetting, the circle showing, but 12mm, it's basically gone. And it's a good lens. It has image stabilisation as well. So if you're dealing with a camera like the ZVE10 or also the Sony A6400 that don't have stabilisation, that's a great lens, because it has in-lens stabilisation. So, you know, that's a great thing with it as well. Just see if a couple more things come up before I head off and go and get some lunch. It's 12:52 here now. So let me know if you have any other questions. I'll probably pop on during the week or something sometime, you know, wish everyone a happy Merry Christmas and stuff like that. So I'll probably do that. I may even do it if we're down at Chuka for Christmas Day in the morning. I did that last year, so I'll see what happens. Because it takes a minute to come through the questions. So if you have any questions about this, guys, anything I've said today, please leave them down below. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Like I said too, with those things that I showed you at the beginning, I'll leave the links for those down below as well. So if you're interested in popping on some of those, you can get them. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. They've just sent them to me, and I only really took those because I thought, wow, I will use them. So let me know if you would like that. Steve has just said, I think the A7 IV would be a good match to have with your A7S3. Yeah, look, it would, Steve, but the thing for me is there's a couple of things about that, the reason why I probably wouldn't get it. This is for me, remember, I'm not bagging the camera. I think it's amazing. And it really is a great camera that Sony have produced there. A couple of things for me. The 4K crop 60 is an issue. I like to be able to use full frame 4K 60. Now that's just the way that I like to shoot. I don't want to have to start to use more lenses to try and get a wider, field of view. That's one thing. The other thing too is the rolling shutter on the A7 IV is it's nowhere near as good as what it is on the A7S III. So that matters to me as well. Now remember, I'm shooting hybrid, so I'm shooting stills and video at the same time. So I don't want to be worrying about having rolling shutter issues and things like that if I'm, panning around fairly quickly. Also, I love to sometimes shoot 4K 120 as well. I do use that, particularly with brides and things like that. If I want to get lovely flowing motion with their veil and things like that, I'll switch it over to 4K 120. And the last thing is the EVF is just so good on the A7S III. It is nuts how good that EVF is, and I use it all the time. So these are things for me that, it's just the way that I shoot. I'm quite comfortable with a 12 megapixel camera. Particularly now, if I did ever need to go large, I did some tests the other day with gigapixel, and it was so fast on this new MacBook that it used to take ages, and now there's no waiting really at all anymore. It's so fast on these new machines that it's really not an issue. But like I said, I can print up to 20 by 30, and I really don't get much more than that now anyway. So I'm quite comfortable with having an A7S III, but remember, I don't crop much in post. I try and get the cropping right, and that's the thing that, if you do like to crop in post, or if you want to do wildlife, I don't really shoot wildlife, and I very rarely shoot landscapes and things like that. If you did, well then a high megapixel camera could be an advantage, but it's just not the way that I shoot. That's why I think if I was going to buy another camera now, I'd probably just go for another A7S III. But you're right, I'd save, I don't know, it might be $2,000 cheaper, so I'd have to look at that too. To get an A7 IV and save the money that way, It's a great camera. The A7 IV is a really good camera. And John just said, a bottle of red wine is calling my name. Good night. Good night, John. Now, let me just open up Playout B, because I am going to...
You got me feeling kind of crazy.
Because I think that was playing in the background. So thanks so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Stay tuned. I will do that review of those microphones because I'm curious to see how that compares with the other systems that I've got, because I've got a few of them. Apart from that, everyone, I'm going to have some lunch. Now, Rob just said, high megapixel and the ability to crop is nice for birds. Yep, fully understand that. If that's the sort of stuff you do, like aviation, birds, wildlife, where you've got the ability to crop, it can be a real advantage. And yep, I fully understand that, is the case, Rob. Okay, so that's all, guys. And apart from that, I'll see you all in the next show. Thanks, everyone.